Hi everybody, welcome back to my War Games hobby channel. It's club night. Let me show you the game we're going to play tonight. Me and Andy are playing in this game on our own. There are in fact 4 other games going on, so it's not too noisy in here tonight. Right, here's the game. In fact, let me just show you the other games that are on. There's quite a large game over here with 2, 4, 6, 8 people playing. They're playing a set of club rules, and it looks like the Renaissance to me. They always have quite big games, this group. There's normally 8 or 10 people playing in these huge games, and they use, as I say, club rules for that. Over here we've got a Hail Caesar game going on, Wars of the Roses, with Carl, Dom and Jonathan. And there we are. Nice looking game too. Wars of the Roses with a few amendments to the rules.
Martin, Seventh Son's.
Oh yeah. Oh yes, of course. Martin from Seventh Son has done some amendments to the rules for Hail Caesar, and I believe they're very, very good. I haven't played them yet, so can I join in next one you do? All right, have a good game. And then over here, we've got another Hail Caesar game going on, so it must be Hail Caesar night. This is ancient though. These look like Greek hoplites. More Greek hoplites, and even more Greek hoplites. So that's Tony and Mark against Paul. So 3 people in that game. And then we've got the game I'm doing. Me and Andy are playing a game of Muskets and Tomahawks tonight, using French and Indian wars. Now I've got a list of the armies, which you'll see now. I'll put them on the screen. This is Andy's French army. He hasn't used them yet, so he's asked me to be kind with them. Of course I will, Andy. Not. And he's actually, we diced to see what we're doing, and Andy is defending, as it happens, defending this little hamlet here. But he's also drawn out the hat, and when we dice for it, he's got basically a battle game. He's just got to kill more than half of my figures. And he had to deploy first, so, and you'll see in here, he's got a unit of French infantry facing over that way, and 2 units of French Marines also in the village, with the civilians as well, that he can use if he wants. And then over that top corner there, he's got a group of Indians, or 3 groups of Indians coming on. Now, my deployment points there were 2 deployment points over there, which I've ignored completely. And I put my troops here. So I've got a little Prussian contingent, some Jaegers and some line infantry coming on over here. And then we've got the 2 British regulars. If you look on the sheet, 2 regular units of Brits, and then these coming up in the rear are provincials, loyalist provincials. My task is to try and occupy the 2 buildings. If I occupy the 2 buildings, I win the game. Now the reason I elected to deploy over here was because Andy had to deploy first, and he put his engines, quite rightly so, in that wood. And if I try and attack those in the wood, I think I'm going to come off the worst. So I've decided to ignore them completely, and he's got to now move them across the table to support the people in the villages. So there we are. I'm coming on these 2 edges here, these 2. There's the Prussians, and they're the Brits. So what I'm going to do, I'm not going to record the whole game because it just takes too long to watch. But I will, every so often, let you know what's happening in the battle. I'll give you highlights, if you like, of what's going on. It was my first move, and I've just moved my regulars, which are the Prussian infantry there, and the British infantry have done 1 move there. They're within 24 inches, so I couldn't get the bonus for doing a little bit further. I'd like to have gone 6 inches, but I couldn't do that. They've only just moved forward. The deployment point, you see, was sort of here. Right, so that's it for now. I'll report back later when something has happened. Right, a quick update of the game. We're moving slowly nearer. As you can see, the Brits over here. But my regulars here have taken 2 casualties, although they're shaken, but they're okay. The other Brits are coming around here, facing the survivors of some Marines that have come around here, which I'll explain in a minute. The provincials are blocked by the other British. Until they move, they can't do much. So over there, it's not too bad. On my other side, on where the Prussians are, you can see the Prussians have taken a bit of a hammering. They moved up here, and they did volley fire over at the unit that's gone behind the building. And although they caused some casualties, it wasn't a lot, but they did fall back. But since then, they've been shot at by the civilians, believe it or not, that managed to kill one of the Prussians. And then a lot of shooting from over here. So you can see they've lost a total now of 6 men, because they did get shot at by these as well before they withdrew. So the poor Prussians have taken a bit of a hammering. They're unloaded and they're shaken. They've fallen back now as well. But in here you can see the Jaegers in a very strong position in that wood. They just opened fire and did rather a lot of casualties over here on the unit that's now running behind the building, and they're out of ammo anyway, but they've fallen back there. On the other side, the Indians are still not moving very far at all. They need to come over here really as quick as they can, but at the moment they're slowing up. And the other civilians are in with the pigs, and this unit of Marines has moved around here to deal with the Prussians, which they did very effectively. In fact, these are Brunswickers. That's what they are, Brunswickers. So yeah, at the moment it's too early to say. I've lost a total of 8 figures. That's 6 Brunswickers and 2 regulars. And over here, the casualties are. Where are your casualties, Andy? Oh, here we are. Here we are. 6. The casualties for the French are 6 Marines. The Indians aren't moving very quick at the moment. Fortunately, there's only 2 cards in the pack, so they're not going to move very far unless he uses command points to move them, which he might well do. He did open fire with the guys here with the rifles and caused one of the casualties on those Brits over there. Right, so that's the update. Slowly moving up. Early days yet. Report back later. Right, another quick update. This regiment, or this unit of French infantry over here, just opened fire on my unit that was here, and they got 4 casualties on it, and I rolled very badly on a morale dice. So, yeah, all right. So they've gone.
You rolled a 2, Alex.
All right, thank you, Graham. Graham's reminded me. Thank you, Graham. There's Graham.
Rolled a 2.
That I rolled a 2. Yeah, thank you, Graham. So they've gone. So I've lost my first unit. So actually I'm losing this game at the moment by a lot. I've lost 14 figures against 6. So the Brits are going to have to get their finger out soon. Otherwise it's early bedtime for me. Graham says I need to show you this because I was shooting these guys on those with 8 dice and I only needed 7s to hit. All right, 7, 8s and 9s. Says it all, doesn't it, really? Rubbish. So I'm losing badly here, and I've just also opened fire with my rifles of those over there and missed completely as well. So I've done 2 lots of shooting and got absolutely 0 out of it. Yes, what can I say? Not a lot. I'm definitely losing this game because these are my casualties, and over here is Andy's. You can see he's lost less than me, but I've got to try and enter these buildings, and at the moment it's not happening. And the Indians here are coming forward now. These guys are really devastating in close combat, so they're closing in on my 2 units here. I did open fire over here with volley fire on the French line and caused a casualty, and they became shaken, but that was all. The unit that was here is just now the officer left, so they're out of the game really. But I've got to try and get in and capture these buildings, and they're just too strong. The Indians are coming up. The other Indians with the rifles are staying in that wood because they can shoot over here and still hit these. Although he doesn't often get many casualties, he gets the odd one, and they're picking me off slowly. And the Indians are moving up fast now, all their cards are coming out. So I've got the strong unit in here, but they opened fire and didn't do any damage last time, and they're still unloaded. So it's not looking very promising. At the moment, it's very much the French that are in the stronger position. Have you had one of those nights where whatever you do, I just rolled here with these lovely Jaegers firing on these guys over here, and I got, because they're sharpshooters, re-rolling zeros, I got 10 hits, and then to actually do any damage, I've only got to roll 4s, so with 10 dice, I only rolled 2. So 2 casualties. I mean, if I'd rolled really well, I could have wiped that unit out. But it's been like that all night. I'm sure you all know what that's like, but I seem to do it with some sort of regularity, don't I, Graham? Graham thinks it's hilarious, don't you, Graham? Yeah. He's just spectating, but he's loving this. So, I don't know what their morale is like. They rolled a 3, so they might have to go back. Anyway, I'm just rolling so badly tonight. I keep rolling noughts for doing morale tests. And yeah, just I wish noughts were 10s in this game because I'm rolling loads of noughts. There we go. That's how it goes. Now, if you remember, my objective is to take the 2 buildings. Well, that's not happening, is it? This unit's no longer shaken, but it didn't roll enough to do something else because I've got a forward boys card. These are reloaded, and these are all now reloaded. But I'm being pushed back. I'm not actually getting anywhere near the village. The idea was to get these out of the way from the unit of 12 French infantry, but at the moment they need to turn now and face them. The Indians are getting ever closer. But yeah, at the moment I cannot see me winning the game. All I can do is hope I get a draw, and that means that if Andy kills more than half my force, which at the moment looks like he's going to do, I'm in trouble. I shall keep plugging away though. You never know, it might all change in a minute. I want these guys. These are the most expensive unit I have. If they start firing and actually doing some damage to the enemy, then I might be able to do something. But at the moment, say last time they fired, they were hopeless. They got 10 hits, and only 2 of those were converted to casualties. I need to do better than that. Well, what did I just say? I needed to do something. These guys opened fire over here, and this time they got 6 hits, and when I rolled the dice, they got 6 casualties. They killed 6, so that unit's been wiped out completely. The officer still survives. He's not looking happy. But so in fact all the French Marines have now gone. They've all been killed except for the officers. So I needed that. It's caused them a bit of a problem because these were getting to be troublesome. Right, so there we go. Finally I got a good dice roll. But the trouble was Graham was chatting and he missed it. Typical, isn't it? Yeah. I'll put that in because he conveniently missed the one time I rolled well. Fighting back now, this unit turned, and then I had another card which enabled it to volley fire on the unit of 12 French infantry that were there, and they've now fallen back, as you can see, because they lost 3 figures. So finally I'm starting to do something, but is it too little too late? But the last 2 moves, I've wiped out 1 unit and pushed the infantry back. So finally it's starting to look a little bit brighter for the Brits. We will see. Well, despite a great comeback by me, because I was slowly causing heavy casualties on the French, I never did get anywhere near capturing those buildings, which is what my objective was. These guys finally coming out of the wood, they were just about to open fire again when the 4th red clock card came out. So the game has ended. And when we worked out the casualties, Andy has killed slightly more than half my force, so he wins the game. And I couldn't, although we lost quite a few in himself in the end, you can see over there, it doesn't matter how many he lost, I had to capture the buildings. And I didn't. I got quite near to them, these are up there near, but look at my casualties here. They were really hammered. When I lost this unit over here on this hill, my loyalist to the Indians, although in the end they did break, but unfortunately it wasn't enough to turn around. I should have brought these out of that wood earlier and maybe gone in to attack the civilians, but I just wasn't getting the cards come up, and while they had targets I was shooting, and they did a lot of damage in the end. But yeah, I should have maybe moved in a bit sooner. Right, so good game, well done Andy.